What's going to happen with Bangladesh? Bangladesh is, yes, it's a matter of immediate concern for us in the Indian subcontinent, isn't it, Bangladesh? And the Biden-Harris regime has recently, very quite recently, carried out a regime change operation in Bangladesh. They, as we know, I'm sure everyone's aware, they removed the democratically, constitutionally elected Sheikh Hasina government from power. She was ousted. She was forced to leave the country by the Bangladesh military, and now there's a puppet regime in place, a completely undemocratic, completely unelected, completely unconstitutional puppet regime is in place with this fellow called Mohammed Yunus as the face of the puppet regime. It's actually the Bangladesh military that's running the show, and the Bangladesh military obviously has a much larger master out there, which we all understand is the US. This has been coming. It's been a long time coming. Sheikh Hasina spoke about this in the years coming up to the actual coup. So that's the situation. That's the context in which this question has been asked. What will happen with Bangladesh? Because just, I mean, less than a week before the election result, which is today, Trump had tweeted this. Shall we let's find his tweet? I don't think it'll be easy to find his tweet. Uh, there'll be a lot of tweets in the way, but he essentially tweeted about Bangladesh, and he said that he strongly condemns the barbaric attacks on the Hindus and other minorities in Bangladesh, and so on and so forth. And he also spoke about the need for India and the US to work together. And he said that if elected, he will resume cooperation, kind of like in some words he said that with his good friend Narendra Modi and so on and so forth. So that was the deal. So he actually was one of the very few world leaders to condemn strongly what's happening in Bangladesh, the pogroms against Hindus and other minorities, also because you got to speak about them, but mainly against Hindus and also against Buddhists and so on. That's been happening ever since this Mohammed Yunus this regime came to power. They have been going after the Hindus. Bangladesh has once again become East Pakistan, and this was all done by the Biden-Harris regime. And the objective is to encircle India and so on. I've spoken about it at length. I'll not go into that right now. So the question is, what happens now? Trump is now going to be the president, January some 21st or some whatever date onwards. So what happens? Will Sheikh Hasina be brought back to power? Will Mohammed Yunus be ousted? Lots of Indian commentators are speculating right now on social media. I'll not go into the tweets and all that, but they're speculating that, yeah, Mohammed Yunus must be trembling and all that. I disagree completely. Bangladesh, East Pakistan, is an extremely valuable asset for the United States in the Indian subcontinent. Why would you give it up? I mean, sure, under Trump's leadership, the United States may ask the Bangladeshi regime to go easy on the Hindus, on the minorities, and stop genociding them and all that. Maybe that'll happen. Sure. I'm sure Mr. Modi will speak with Mr. Trump and use his influence to end the violence against Hindus to a certain extent, hopefully to a large extent, hopefully completely. But beyond that, I don't see anything else happening. I don't think Mohammed Yunus will be thrown out of power and Sheikh Hasina will be allowed to come back. Absolutely not. Mark my words. That's not happening. Even among friends, you need leverage. Because in the game of geopolitics, there are no real friends. I mean, you may have individual friendships between two world leaders. Let's say between Donald Trump and Mr. Modi. We know that they got along really well together. So there may be an individual friendship there. But this is geopolitics. It's about national interest. I may be your friend, but I have my national interest and you have yours, and we're going to deal between the countries from that perspective. Our individual friendship means nothing in that context. That's how it works in geopolitics. And the US is concerned about the increasingly larger role that India is playing on the geopolitical stage, and eventually the way the Indian economy is growing, India is going to become a very large power, and that's obviously a problem. That's something they don't want to see happen. That's why they want to contain India. And Bangladesh is an excellent asset to have in the subcontinent to contain India, to play a certain part of the role in containing India. So I do not see Donald Trump having the Mohammed Yunus regime ousted and having Sheikh Hasina reinstated. That's not going to happen. So Bangladesh, no major change. Maybe an easing up of the violence against Hindus. Maybe that will be curbed to a certain extent once Trump comes to power. But beyond that, I don't see a lot happening. Project K, Project Cookie Land for Christ, will continue. That will continue. Even if Donald Trump is in power, it will still continue. So that's how the game is played. Transactionally, the relationship will get better, but when it comes to Bangladesh, when it comes to Project K, Cookie Land, the Manipur disaster, not a lot will change. That's how I see it.